Yeah, we live. Funky Fresh in the Flesh. My childhood homies right here. All three of them. Squad Biz today.
Squad Biz today.
Y'all tell them who y'all are.
Well, I'm Fibonacci Brown, one half of the Scription series.
I am Tu-One Illuminist, the second half of the Scription series.
That's what's up.
And he's B-Boy Rich, one of the hosts.
Yeah.
One half of Funky Fresh
Yeah.
Flesh podcast.
I'm the other half. Yes. Man, I want to talk to y'all. I've been knowing y'all for a long time. You was one of the first female MCs I knew come from our hood, you know.
Yes.
To athlete, MC, producer, you know, always been a people's person, a socialite, you know, the class MVP of the MVPs. Got flags in the gym, all that, you know, Olympian shit right there, you know what I'm saying? Man, y'all talk about, you know, coming up in our era, you know, what was your musical influences? You coming up as an athlete, you know, getting into music. You know, what was your first, you know, bite of hip hop, you know, as well, you know?
I'm going to be honest with you. In Detroit, it was different because Detroit had its own hip hop. Like, and some of my early Detroit influences was Detroit rappers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Awesome Dre's, yeah, Smileys and shit. I went to school with Smiley's little sister. So when her song was popping and shit, her sister was like, yeah, my sister's song. You know, Smiley, but I'm not friendly. But Smiley was fucking biting. She was snapping. You feel me?
Right.
Yeah.
And Chaos and Maestro and shit, you know what I'm saying? Maestro, I cut through many, you know what I'm saying? And fucking Eshawn, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like just the whole production, the double CD, all that shit. We seen all that shit early.
Yeah.
And that shit was on a massive scale later. So we was already like shit, you know.
Right.
So, you know, I was homegrown, a lot of home MC. The first international artist I was really introduced to was Eric B. and Rakim, the Paid in Full album. You know what I'm saying? So outside of Detroit, you know, that was the first album that really sucked me into hip hop. You know what I'm saying? But you know, and then you know the NWAs and you know, production wise, a lot of the old school shit, bro. Like I love Ohio players. You know what I'm saying? I love Parliament. You know, so that type of shit. New cats like the DJ Quick run.
MC producer.
I was into that DJ Quick run. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm into MC producers like Dre, Quick, Kanye. You know what I'm saying? Pharrell. You know, Timberland dabbles in a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So
when you tell me something, when you got into the beat making, was you reading the book, the manual, or you were just learning by ear?
yeah, I just was hitting that bitch. You know, it's like, I figured it's like, you know, I look at everything like, all right, so you know, we grew up with the video games,
Right.
and you had to play the shit out of a game to beat that bitch. You know what I mean? So I looked at everything like that. You know, if you could spend a lot of time on it, you'll eventually, you know, get it right. So, we needed beats out of necessity, bro. We grew up in the era where beats cost bread. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like everybody had beats. A few cats had beats, and if they was locked in with industry cats, you wasn't getting no beat for cheap. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you know you had to either know how to make your own joints or pay up. You know what I'm saying? So
I seen the importance of the in-house producers back then when Doc Seuss had Royce, you know what I'm saying? It was just like he had so much music recorded, you know. Nina, you was like the salt and pepper, the one at in our hood, you know what I'm saying?
I can definitely see why. Definitely an influence.
Say, talk about, you know, coming up. What was your influence as an MC? You know,
I have older brothers, and I'm the closest one to my age is probably like 5.5 years older than me. So my brothers was into rap, and I was a poet and a singer. I'm 7 years old writing
Okay.
poems and songs. Like my teachers are calling my parents like, this is great. Like,
Right.
you know, so when I discovered rap, it was because of my big brother. They was literally out there on the cardboard under the street light breakdancing, and when it got too late, they out there beatboxing and freestyling, and you know, I'm listening to these rhymes go back and forth. I'm amazed, like this is great. So I took all my little poems, and 9 years old, I'm trying to make a name for myself as a rapper.
Right.
So it went from there. I wasn't old enough to get a hold of music, like my own stuff. So everything that I had, either I got it from my brother or I saw my brothers doing it.
Right.
So I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know I was the only little girl in my neighborhood rapping.
Yeah.
My brother's taking me up to Future Funk on 7 Mile. Like, my little sister rap. You know, I'm
Right.
just like, I just want to say my stuff. You know, so I didn't have like a musical influence initially. It was my
Okay.
brothers. It was seeing them doing something that felt natural to me as a poet.
Right.
So
Who was some of your favorite female MCs? Like, did you see anybody in particular and you said, I want to be like that?
I definitely say Salt and Pepper.
Okay.
Salt and Pepper they were aggressive in a way that I didn't think women could be. I thought it was supposed to be cute. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was supposed to be, you know, lollipop, but I get a hold of Salt and Pepper. I get a hold of Finesse and Sequence. I get a hold of some old Roxanne Shante.
Right.
Why'd they have to make a record about me?
Right.
She didn't care who was on the other end of receiving that.
Right.
And I was mesmerized.
Right.
And then,
Style.
yeah, and you know, that's one of the best diss tracks to me. Like, I know a lot of
Yeah.
other artists get credit for diss tracks. That is a fire diss track.
Right.
I was in love. I'm like, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
Then I got a hold of AMG.
Oh yeah.
AMG's Bitch Better Have My Money album.
Yeah.
Boss was on there.
Yeah.
Boss was on there, and Boss was from where I'm from.
Right.
And talk about not caring who's on the other end of what she's saying.
That was heavy.
I stood up. I had my hands on my hips like I'm bright in the bright place from here. Yes.
Right.
So I was
Kick me in that ladder.
I was convinced that I was doing the right thing.
Right.
I was convinced that whatever this was coming out of me, whether it started out as poems and whether I was singing them, now I'm rapping them.
Right.
This felt right. Like, you know, it don't get no righter. Like, it was right. So those were and then the I don't want to take any credit away from AMG.
Yeah.
I think that production
Yeah.
allowed him to go in and out of cadences that absolutely made me feel like the sky is the limit.
Right.
So couple that with what I say is who raised me. You know, I'm a Tupac fan, but Rakim raised me.
Right.
And Rakim didn't cuss.
Yep.
Rakim was potency.
Right.
And just swirling all of that around.
Right.
And apparently it was doing the trick because I was finding myself a lot of times the only woman in the room.
Right.
From 9. So I've been doing this, you know, I don't try to give away my age, but you know, it's been some decades.
Right.
So yeah, so that's definitely what seasoned me was that.
Well, since y'all, what?
You know what? No, I thought about something after I finished answering the question. I mentioned a few producers, but I didn't mention like who I always said who I wanted to make beats like.
Right.
Okay.
I wanted to make beats like Dilla.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I always like it's always my thought process like what would Dilla do?
Right.
Like how would he do this bass line? How he was crafty with the bass line, I'm trying to be crafty with the eights. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
How he was crafty with some of his chops and shit. I study his chops like this nigga was retarded. Like his chops were stupid.
Yeah.
Like, and he just put together not give a fuck shit and it just be dope. You can tell like he ain't give a fuck right there. That shit was still dope as fuck.
Yeah.
I think he mastered too the head nod, the fun part of the head nod. in the beat.
That's a
Once a producer understand that,
Yeah.
and then you,
Like once you catch it.
I got it. You know,
The beats that make you want to rap because they right in pocket. Like you cannot not rap to it.
Yeah,
like
I think
Right,
that's the advantage I have as a producer rapper is that I make them for pocket hopping and
right.
you know to where you could easily, you know,
what
finesse the beat.
what you think about? I mean, you speaking of that, what you think about? There's not too many female guy groups like a his and her groups. So like, what the advantage of a female perspective and a guy perspective of what you think about that? Who
Man,
was you
listen.
inspired by? It ain't a lot of female MCs and guy MC
And
groups.
it's like this. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Detroit is different. I grew up in the Lush Lounge era. You know what I'm saying? The hip hop shop era where MCs were sharp, where bars and lyrics mattered.
Mattered.
Right.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Where battle rap was over beats and it was on Johnny on the spot. Wasn't no week to study. You know you was battle that night. You put your name in, the next thing you know you in the bracket.
Right.
Right.
You know, you might be going up against some Wolfpack niggas, and next thing you know, you
It's
getting
a
blazed
wrap,
up out of
right.
there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
Duh.
so, you know,
Put your gym shoes on the
Duh,
Okay, on the electrical line, I'm saying.
like, but you had to be sharp. You know, you had to be ready to hold that stage down. And you know, Fib back then, Nina was like hands down from guys and girls, just like stand above the rest. Even like nowadays, it's just like it's just different. You know what I'm saying? Like I always enjoyed MC Light. I always enjoyed females that could really bring it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't, and I'm not gonna go soft on a female because she's a female. If there's no bars there, there's no bars there. I see a couple females online that got bars. I don't know their name, but they got bars. You know what I'm saying? And the bars catch my ear. I'm not really even looking at what a chick looked like because that's been ruined. You know what I'm saying? Like it's been over sexualized to where it's ruined, and her bars are just so, and her entendres are just so ridiculous that me as a producer, by the time I'm 3/4 done with the beat, she damn near got a concept.
That's dope.
You
So
feel me?
I'm sure you feel that the coochie raps has messed up the game, man. I mean, speaking of bars,
Listen.
coochie raps.
That's a very unique way to introduce that. Considering, 20 years ago,
Yeah, that's crazy.
I was,
You see,
But you
I've
wasn't
seen a
doing
lot
coochie
change.
bars.
I wasn't. I
Picture
wasn't.
the AMG. He had talking about
Exactly. And see,
But it was
my
a
thought process is, what combats that?
right.
Because the void I saw was there was no woman standing in the gap as an initiator. Women were reacting.
Right.
You got NWA, now you got BWAs or whatever.
BWP,
Yeah. You know what I mean? So we were reacting.
Right.
And to me, I was an initiator.
Okay.
So it made it I needed to be tearing a path in a lane that nobody is in.
Right.
And it needs to strike a chord.
Right.
So the chord I'm striking is men either can absolutely not stand me,
Right.
or they are completely in love.
And I'm gonna put him in a female top 5, like right off the top. Like this volume 2 gonna put him in top 5. Like,
And that's coming from just the earlier description is from before.
Right.
The work I'm doing now, like first of all, it's a whole evolution. I came out here and made a lot of my bones as Nina the Pimp.
Right.
I had to make adjustments in order to communicate a certain message that I had grown into. I could no longer continue to talk to women about pimping.
Right.
So it didn't make sense with me having sons. So I needed to be able to communicate something that left the right legacy, that was the right blueprint. So, i.e., Fibonacci Brown is born. Fibonacci Brown does way different things than anything I did in my 20s. This stuff coming out of me right now, I have to sometimes he would tell you, I would put the pen down, stand up and get back. I said, I don't know who did that. I know you saw me write it.
Right.
I know it seemed I can't tell you
What-
who did
what
that.
get-
It's
what-
that powerful to me. I'm
what got
spitting
you guys?
anecdotes,
What-
bars.
What got y'all to that point where y'all say, was it a health scare or just life in general or just period to get you to the point of someone make music with a message?
Was it just like just maturing all the time?
That's what it was for me.
Yeah. So I'm a nerd and a information nut.
Yeah.
You know, I'm constantly questing for information.
Big facts.
And I learned about music in a way that I probably won't even speak of on camera. You know what I'm saying? So it's a really, really sacred art on a whole nother spiritual level. You know what I'm saying? And I'll say some things that are already known that aren't known, that isn't known on a massive scale. That if you are gifted with the talent of music and you use it in a negative fashion, your lifespan is cut short.
Yeah.
So you should take it and use it for the greater good of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So that's why hip hop had its organic expression and it went everywhere immediately.
Yeah, you was talking about the importance of music with a good message, man.
Yeah, I was saying that I learned that it's like a I don't want to say it's like a proverb or I don't know what you call those things, where if you're blessed with the talent of music, that if you use it in the wrong way, the negative sense, your lifespan get cut short. If you use it in a positive way, you know, it gets out and it spreads and whatever. Or not necessarily saying it gets out. I don't want people to look at it like that. But if it's out and it's negative, you know what I'm saying, you're held accountable for that. You're held accountable for all of the whatever happened under your influence. You know what I'm saying? Because you are an you have the talent. That's why they spot the talent and they'll put it out and you know all of that's you know how it goes. And
yeah, I was sitting around. Not to cut you off, right?
Say like you talking about like the frequency you put.
Yeah. On a deeper level,
Yeah. Okay.
On a deeper level, yes, because
vibrations
the vibrations of it all. Because what you do with music is you are putting out a certain frequency.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? With your message, you know, your beat is kind of like the car. You're kind of like the person inside of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you're gonna get inside it with somebody that listening to it via the beat,
right?
And your message is gonna be in there. You know what I'm saying? So how it affects them, what they do with it, that's not their responsibility. You put it in there. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, you know, we're just observing these thoughts that we get. You understand what I'm saying? And you can listen to music and see yourself get a thought.
Right.
You feel me? So if you're really observing what's happening, you know what I'm saying? So it's on that type of level. You know what I'm saying? So when I do write and I do orchestrate music that is done with the intention to educate, inspire, raise a conscious level of, you know, the individual that's listening to it. You know what I'm saying? So even when they say it, how I trick it out and say it, and they really get it and they saying like that, they understand that they, you know, unlocking shit in their mind and in their DNA that makes them be able to just, you know, process things in a lot faster way too.
That was your message to the music game and the industry. What's your message to the youth, man?
Man, that's why I do the tracks like I do the tracks. You know what I'm saying? I know the energy that they support. You know what I'm saying? So it's the message is like you can do hip hop. It could be dope. It could be fun. You ain't gotta be
Keep the fun in it.
Yeah, you ain't gotta be talking about clothes or brands or because those things have a different energy behind it. You know what I'm saying? That's greed. You know what I'm saying? That's ego. You know what I'm saying? And all those things are really unhealthy to the spirit, to the soul. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of in it for the long run. You know what I mean? Not for the little short, like, you know.
I remember coming up. I was watching. It was a big moment in the '80s to watch the Thriller video, Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
It's the world stopped, and then as soon as that mother came on, my family was sitting there watching, and they, real religious and stuff, and they watching like, damn, this nigga dancing on the grave. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, damn,
With the dead.
And I took so much from that as a kid. Like, it's like all the off the wall stuff was out the windows.
Right.
Damn, now his face started changing, and hair on fire, and all that stuff came after that.
Mm-hmm.
Something to think about.
It's something to think about, man. It really is. You know, I really try not to dabble too much on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop. I ain't mean to do that.
I try to keep that shit on the, you gotta know.
Yeah, let's get a jewel out there, then hide Joe Hutchins jewelry store.
Yeah.
Like shit, man, you gotta research for yourself.
Right.
Yeah, have your own experience with the information.
There you go. Have your own experience with the information.
So tell us about the project y'all working on now, and like how did it come about? Who's doing the production and everything? I know you mentioned you producing, but are you the only producer for the project? Okay.
Everything on this album is either me or him.
Okay.
Whether it's singing,
no features?
No. Whether it's singing, whether it's rapping,
right.
With the sounds, everything you hear, a skit. If it's not me, it's him. If it's not him, it's me. Okay. So it's maturated mind music.
Okay.
The level of everything on this album has stepped up tremendously.
Okay.
The music, just the production period, it's taken an elevation that has forced the lyricism to take an elevation. I'm not usually one that will toot my own horn. I'm not usually one that will. I don't talk junk. I don't have to. Once you hear me, I don't have to.
Right.
I went completely bananas on this album.
Okay.
And I think the compliment of having Tu-One go completely bananas with me.
Right.
This fruit salad is gonna be amazing. It's healthy. It's all the organic, conscious stuff that we need. It's the antidotes. We had a lot of stuff that allowed for everybody to wild out.
Right.
We need some grounding. We need some moral compassing. And this music does that. There's life after twerking. Yeah. There's life after racking up city girl, city boy points.
Right.
It's something after that. And this is it. This is where you come to get that life nugget. To get those things that you need to hear in a music form, because it's going to activate all those parts of your brain like science tells us music does. And this is the antidote you need to hear to do that.
Right.
That's what this music is.
When I first heard it, it's remind me like some Detroit soul food.
That's tough.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a heck of a compliment. We believe that.
Y'all get it out, man. Y'all can come back and show us the album covers and all that good stuff, videos and stuff like that.
Yeah, the whole the Scription volumes, is it's gonna be a good project. The whole thing in itself. Volume 2 is definitely an exciting project.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Volume 1 will come back after Volume 2. Volume 1 has a lot of education in it.
Yes.
Volume 2 has bars, beats, entendres, a lot of go crazy. Volume 3 is soul touching, inspiring. Shit is crazy because we got a lot of Volume 3 like on the boil. That shit done. But Volume 2 is retarded. Like Volume 2 is 4 times platinum
already.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
Volume 3
is fucking tough. Like,
bananas.
It's a tough album to deal with. You know what I'm saying?
So it sounds like what you're saying. Volume 1 is gonna be like the collector's item, because you gotta get Volume 2 first.
Yeah, you gotta get Volume 2 first.
Piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, because Volume 1 is
It's the ground.
Prequel.
Yeah, it's the groundwork. The
Foundation.
substance in volume 1 is slow, where you can kind of get it.
Palatable.
We put the
digestible.
substance in volume 2 to where it's like you need to have an ear to get it. You better understand these entendres. You gotta understand that we ain't give a fuck after we hit at this point. Like,
Right.
all right, volume 1 is slow. Here's first grade. Volume 2 is here's the master's class. And that's how we're dealing with it this point forward.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So this is the slowness. You can get a lot from volume 1 if you're not this quick.
I mean, it's dope to even for you know, the left side of your brain is the man and the right side is the female. It's like when you hitting them glands listening to, you know, the music, it's dope to kind of hear that. It's soothing, you know, ride around, you see the female voice. Some stuff can be too testosterone and it's a lot of estrogen out there too.
It's a lot of toxicity in both out right now. So this, I think, because I don't think we intentionally went into it with, I'm going to be feminine energy, you're going to be masculine energy. It's just that we're kind of so comfortable in that already that it was just a natural chemistry that spilled out into these volumes.
Right.
So it's, I don't think I ever thought about, let me make sure I'm bringing feminine energy. The
It's
music
like,
that...
It's like, just think if you have like Outkast and Goody Mob having the Brat actually doing what they do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So dig this. Let me say this. I'll show you how it shows up. And I see this. We'll have a subject matter. I might intricately talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll make it so complex that you gotta really unravel the fuck out of it. You know what I'm saying? And keep it dope.
The layer that...
She'll do it so like, she'll simplify it and walk it out and stretch it out and make it so like wholesome for you and shit. And it's like, yeah, we said the same shit, but she really just said it in a totally like, like, swiped out way. You know what I'm saying?
And that definitely is how this album is laid out.
Yeah.
Like he's so involved. Like you're gonna have fun saying his verses. Like it's fun for you to just hit them pockets, say those words like that, fire them off in the way that he does. It's just fun.
Right.
I am giving you simple wisdom that you're gonna be like, wait a minute, what she's... No, wait a minute. That meant she said that, but you know that meant like 4 different things.
Right.
And it's you're gonna hear... I try to write so that you hear something different every time you hear me.
Right.
It can mean something to you differently every time you hear it.
Right.
So for me to be able to roll out something that way and then couple it with these intricacies, like it's like gumbo. It's like a great seasoned meal.
Right.
It's filling, it's maturing. You're gonna learn something. You're gonna feel like you got something from that. It's like living water. Like you get something when you take it into your soul food. You know what I mean?
And the beats there support the repeat.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? The beats support the repeat.
You want to hear it over and over again.
They support the repeat.
You know what I'm
That's a
saying?
fact.
Y'all put that on the shirt.
Yeah.
And I want to say something too, because I'm listening to y'all talk about the song content. Every male female collaboration we heard is usually just on like one song, right? Or somebody single, but it's always usually it's sexualized. So you think about Trina and Trick Daddy, or even Apache and Nikki D. It was like You Freak Too. What we talked about earlier, AMG and Boss, my sister, Bad Bitch.
Right.
It was always like, oh, we fighting at each other, who can outsex each other, who can do this, but y'all coming at it from a whole different perspective. Right.
We do have songs where we talk about loving each other, like we are a couple, but we, for the most part, we are trying to communicate a certain intelligence that needs the balance of a man and a woman.
Right.
I think sometimes we lean too far into sexuality to guide us when it comes to our musical expressions.
Right.
Whether it's guys calling every woman they see a B, or whether it's chicks thinking they got to whip half their ass out in order to sell something.
Right.
When you can see a man and a woman come together with some quality, something that is a nugget that you can really go through life with.
Right.
Like, they told me that, if I pay attention and look at my surroundings, I can really like catch a few clues about what, that's what we
Right.
talk about.
Okay.
If I look up, I can see the chemtrails in my skies. I know that
Right.
this is not good for me. Maybe I need to get some, like, we try to give you something you can use and apply. To do that without leading with our genitals,
Right.
that's already what I think is going to make us stand out.
You like a mental sack chaser.
Not a mentor. I don't know if I have to be though. Like I can see where you're saying that, because there are some women that put the hoe in hotel.
Right.
But
Oh man,
because I'm the
speak on it.
intellect, I don't have to chase.
Right.
I have a glow that is going to bring the moths to me.
Right.
And by the time I finish opening my mouth, when you press play on that first song, you already gonna know you're in for a different experience.
Right.
You're already gonna know I'm unlike any woman you've ever heard speaking in a rap. Period.
Right.
Existing, current, or future.
Right.
And I'm not trying to.
That's dope.
Brag.
It ain't too
It
much
just
of that.
is.
Wait, hold up, man. She dropped the gem because this is why you need women around. See, I got a story about the whole hotel. Right.
Oh shoot.
See, back when we mentioned the dancery earlier, you'd be around all the little ratchet chicks. And you meet the one chick burning the incense and the sage, and she the same way. And you be the whole hotel.
And you got sex, they ruin it, because
Yeah.
you got people who like to pervert things that are popular in
Yeah.
order to be able to get certain attention, because that's all they really want in the first place.
Right.
I know that that's not what's going to support a bloodline. I know that's not what's going to enrich a healthy legacy.
Right.
So in order for me to not be able to look at the generations coming up behind me and then pointing the finger saying, you didn't leave us nothing. You didn't give us no blueprints on what to do. You just got out here, got yours, and took off as a generation.
Right.
I don't want to have that on my back. I want to do my part.
Right.
So that's what this music is about.
Let me say this too, and you will hear how flawlessly we go about it, as far as how deep the subject matters are, and how we're really bringing a lot of substance to it with the whole talent of super rap level. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's our language. That's our everyday.
That's sexy too.
That's not something we try to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's just who we are. So that's like, we got 200 books in the library. You know what I'm saying? So it's not we practice what we preach. We practice what we eat. You know what I'm saying? It's not fake.
Right.
You hear it. You know what I'm saying? So
the relationship between us is more than a sexual one.
Right.
And although we understand that sex sells, we are intellectuals. We are attracted to how each other thinks. And when it comes to exploring that and applying that, I can speak comfortably about a lifestyle. That's what this music is.
At one point, the red, black, and green was sexy. Fully clothed was sexy. Knowledge was sexy. You know what I'm saying? Just bringing that back. MC Light didn't have to get butt naked for people to be like, man.
Never. Absolutely.
She's sexy than a mud. We still was saying she was
sexy.
Still
like right on today. Like, go look her up right now.
I know.
See?
Hey, let me ask y'all this though. So when y'all creating and y'all writing and y'all record, do either one of you, has it been times where y'all like, nah, that ain't it, bro, or nah, that ain't it, where you just like, you gotta come harder?
I think I might have.
Yeah.
I think I might have rewrote a verse once.
Okay.
And
I'm saying, did she tell you what not, or you just felt it?
I don't think she has to tell me.
Okay.
Like, I can kind of feel her energy if it's not on, and it'll probably be like within like a day,
Right.
or you know what I'm saying. It don't take long for be like, you know what, I want to rewrite that. Because a lot of times, to be perfectly honest with you and shit, if my shit ain't up to her shit, I'm rewriting that shit.
Right.
So that shit only happened once.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Where I felt like that was a good verse, that's a good 16, but how dare I do that? And that's something that's on volume 3.
Okay.
And I tell you, that was the verse to Balls.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I rewrote that one. So yeah, homie, I'm good. You can keep it.
Well, I had that experience on volume 1. We have a song on volume 1 called "Sing Some Things,"
Right.
and he pretty much orchestrated the visual for this song.
Right.
He was like, this is what I'm hearing on the hook. This is what I'm talking about, and I had wrote something, but I'm trying to say it to what he's gotten. I'm listening to him like prepping in the mic, and I'm just like, I'm not fit. This is not giving me what I needed to give me.
Right.
And I scrapped the whole thing. And I'm glad I did, because what came out of that is definitely a foreshadowing of volume 2.
Okay.
In every aspect.
Right.
And it was, I think it was necessary, because what I had written the first time wasn't a compliment to what he had already laid out. He had definitely painted a picture with words from his verse to the hook. I didn't want to. I hadn't done that before, and I wasn't about to just half-ass it now.
Right.
So, yeah, I definitely scrapped my whole verse. Like, I was done. I scrapped the whole verse. Like, no, give me about 36 more minutes.
Right.
Like,
You speaking of that, tell the MCs the difference between writing and typing your verse in your phone.
Writing for me is an experience. I buy special look, I buy special notebooks. I have special pens that I use. Once a rap for me is completely written out, which that is what I'm gonna record, it goes into a book with like tabs on it. Like, you would pick it up and think it's a Bible, because I got tabs of songs by album, stuff that ain't on the album, side songs. I have stuff that goes back to 96, 95, 93.
Right.
It's an experience for me. I need to erase it. I need to scribble it out. I need to draw symbols. I need to make certain words a certain way to give me a clue that I'm going to say this longer and this shorter.
Right.
I don't get that feel typing.
Right.
And when I'm typing, to me, it just takes away the experience. I don't want everything in my phone.
Right.
I like being able to look up and see the volumes of things in my own hand.
Right.
And because I'm not just a rapper. Like, I'm a wordsmith. I do alchemy with words. I have books. I have plays. I have commercials. I have songs, gospel songs, country songs, raps, R&B. I write any and everything. I I need to express these words.
Right.
So a phone is not going to do it for me. Typing that's just one way out of a million for me.
Right.
So I have to write it.
These two got a song together too on my album. Shit Happens. Y'all check it out.
Big facts.
King Gordia's on there. Maserati Vick.
Yes.
His brother's on there.
Shout out Mozzie.
We did that in 2001 or something like that.
Everybody's tripping.
Yes, everybody's tripping.
I'm on there.
Yeah.
First, I'm cracked.
Hey, I want to ask you this before we get out of here, man. You've always been big on passion and what you believe in. I mean, it's not too many people who can escape and be creative, whether you're working 100 hours a week, 200 hours a week, 300 kids. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are not gifted to make beats and be homeless or whatever, but I'm the same way. I can escape and go creative, man. You talk about passion, where you get that passion from,
Well, it's really like, man, you gotta. I look at the things around me, right, and you can really begin to understand the thoughts of things. You know what I'm saying? A motherfucker was tired of standing. He made a chair. He sat down, spin that wheel, and look around you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's passionate motherfuckers everywhere, and they all did something. And they did something. You can be like, "This what they did. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is." So legacy is big, and I understand that Butter's getting super exclusive. I understand that ideology transcends. You feel me? And music helps convey an ideology.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So sometimes it take volumes. You know, they give you encyclopedias in values.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So the future gotta understand that, you know, what my effort was put in volumes where you can hear it, understand it, see it, observe it, you know what I'm saying, learn from it, you know, so that they can say like, yeah, it was a motherfucker looking out. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that shit made a difference.
Yep.
And that was the difference maker.
Right.
You know, shit like that. I had music that was a difference maker for me, so, you know, it is what it is.
Well, we appreciate y'all. And one last thing, man. What y'all want to see in the next 50 years of hip hop?
Wow. Next 50 years of hip hop, I would love to be able to see something more substance bearing. Like, I'm not, and I don't know if this is just the mature me speaking, but you know, the music I take in, I like to get something from it. To me,
Right.
tends to be the classics. You know, that's the music I go back to when I listen to old school music.
Right.
And I want to be able to get something from my music. So I'm hoping that in the next 50 years, music gets used to convey more substance so that you can get more out of it when you listen to it. I'm hoping that's the direction we're going in.
I hope that the true magic happens, where the healing comes back
Yeah.
and the DNA unraveling happens, and you know, you get the downloads when you hear the music. You know what I'm saying? You can hear what one in the, like, I might have a verse with a total of so many words, but every word has a thought that has 100 words attached to it.
Right.
So when you get all of these words plus the 100 words attached to it, you get this whole explosion of like, damn, nigga, I know how to fly a helicopter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
you know, 50 years, that's what I see it being like, where it is truly crafted to,
Enlighten.
yeah,
Elevate.
I'm saying, make you feel different. Make
Radiate,
make a
elevate.
difference.
Change the vibration. We can't be
Yeah.
front. We gotta be smiling while we riding down the street.
Yeah,
man.
it should be different. 'Cause, you know,
doing this again.
it's
right?
like you can get a feeling. You can get a feeling from my music that gives you make the hair on your neck stand up, make your eyes well up, and if you don't control it, you will go to a higher level. You just let it go. You will go to a higher level. You ever get that feeling in music where that shit get you going?
Yeah.
Let it go.
Right.
Don't stop it.
Yeah.
Like, let it go for as long as you go. You gonna go
We
crazy.
will rock you.
Right.
Let it go crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the greatest feelings on earth. You know what I'm
Agreed.
saying?
So will we call y'all like the Ashford and Simpson of hip hop?
I don't know about that. I don't think we're gonna do that one.
That's
Gonna pass.
Oh,
Pass that.
how about
Nah,
that?
this day
The
one,
Mar,
that-
the
We
Mar,
gonna be the 2-1 and Nazi of hip hop.
the Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell.
You are really tripping. They have a lot of songs.
They sound good together. Though.
Oh wow.
No, but y'all gotta stay tuned for them, man. It's different for the ear, man. To hear a left women on the right, man. We need the different voices in the music, man, because it's too one dimensional. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So y'all stay tuned for some funky, fresh, and the flesh content from them.
Funky fresh
Yes,
in the
indeed.
flesh.
And when the album coming out again?
Look for it summer 2023, Scription Volume 2.
Yeah, summer 2023. You'll see the codes come up. You know what I'm saying? The QR codes come up. Something serious.
Yes.
They'll be everywhere.
All right.
We out of here. Slick
Oh, we
one.
out.
Shout out to Mozzarati Vick.
Mozzarati Vick.
Yeah.
Well,